Caitlin Clark's feelings on Eileen Gu clear amid backlash to Chinese Olympian. Caitlin Clark publicly showed her support during a prominent event with Eileen Gu as the Winter Olympics athlete continues facing criticism following the Games. Coming straight from the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics, six-time Olympic medalist Gu revealed she attended the Prada show with the WNBA star, sharing a photograph of the pair on her Instagram story. Clark, gearing up for her third campaign with the Indiana Fever, subsequently reposted the picture. Footage from the occasion captured the duo enjoying conversation and laughter from their seats. Gu, the US-born freestyle skier who has encountered controversy for representing China, her mother's native country, secured 3 additional medals at the Games, for years following her Olympic introduction in Beijing. She retained her gold medal in the halfpipe competition, though claimed silver in both Big A and slopestyle events, having previously won gold in the first discipline in Beijing. Gu's gold medal triumph was overshadowed by personal loss, as she discovered soon after that her grandmother had died. She was a steamship, an emotional Gu told reporters. This woman commanded life, and she grabbed it by the reins, and she made it into what she wanted it to be. The last time I saw her before I came to the Olympics, she was very sick, so I knew that this was a possibility. I didn't promise her that I was going to win, but I did promise her that I was going to be brave. She's been brave. Following her final competition, Gu disclosed plans to pivot toward the fashion industry. It's Fashion Week in Milan, Gu told AFP. I have the other job, the other fashion thing. I'm really excited to just explore some other avenues, be creative, and explore my femininity through fashion, which is something I've always loved, and to kind of put that in juxtaposition with skiing and with sports. And I think they coexist so beautifully, and so I hope to represent that next week in Milan. Former NFL MVP Boomer Esiason took aim at Eileen Gu's interview demeanor at the Olympics, describing the 22-year-old as attractive, but insufferable. If you listen to her, you're like, what? The former MVP remarked to his one co-host Greg Giannotti. He expressed his displeasure with how Gu presents herself during media appearances, suggesting the athlete is difficult to listen to, from his perspective. She's a very, very attractive woman and she's extremely bright. She went to Stanford, he went on. But if you listen to her post-participation interviews, she's insufferable. She is. It's hard to listen to. But then again, it's an individual sport and an individual person talking about herself as opposed to talking about her teammates or the support she receives. Esiason noted that whilst he considers Gu exceptionally bright and believes she understood how she's gonna answer things, he chose not to expand on his comments. In Milan, under the polished lights and couture shadows of Prada's fashion show, Clark sat front row beside Gu, an Olympic superstar whose name often arrives online carrying extra baggage, nationality debates, political projections, and the exhausting demand that athletes explain themselves to people who've never met them. Newsweek noted the basic facts. Gu was at Prada's show during Milan Fashion Week, and Clark, who has a Prada partnership, was seated next to her. Then came the detail that made Clark's feelings look clearer than any quote could. Gu posted a selfie to her Instagram story, and Clark reshared it, adding 3 white heart emojis. That's it. 3 small icons. But symbols are the native language of social media, and everyone is fluent. White hearts don't read as distance. They don't read as PR only. They read as warmth, soft, non-verbal support, a public acknowledgement without turning it into a campaign speech. If Clark wanted to keep Gu at arm's length, she could have done the easiest thing in the world. Nothing. Instead, she chose something. And that something landed in the middle of Gu's latest wave of backlash. Backlash that keeps reappearing whenever Gu's career reminds people that identity is complicated and sports are global. Gu has faced criticism for representing China, despite being born and raised in the US, a debate that's followed her for years. It fled again during the Milano Cortina games when she responded to a reporter framing her silvers as golds lost, a moment that went viral precisely because it captured the absurd pressure placed on dominant women athletes to apologize for not being perfect. And it escalated into political commentary too. The Guardian reported on U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance criticizing the idea of U.S.-born athletes competing for other countries, with GU responding in a way that suggested she's used to being drafted into other people's arguments. So when Clark's repost hit timelines, it wasn't received as a neutral Fashion Week footnote. People read it like a statement, because online, everything is a statement if enough strangers want it to be. What Clark's feelings look like, without pretending to read her mind. We can't honestly claim we know what Clark felt in her chest while the cameras clicked. We don't have her private thoughts. What we do have are choices. She attended an event where GU was present and sat beside her. She amplified Gu's post by resharing it and adding affectionate emoji. Those choices suggest comfort, not caution. They suggest ease, not embarrassment. They suggest a modern kind of athlete-to-athlete solidarity. I see you. I'm not scared of the noise around you. In a way, it's a very Caitlin Clark move, at least in the myth the public has built around her. Clark has lived inside the sports internet's tornado, praised, doubted, defended, attacked, treated like a symbol by people who can't agree on what she symbolizes. Sitting with GU reads like someone refusing to let the loudest strangers pick her seating chart. A Milan moment, and the invisible conversation beneath it. Imagine the scene as it likely felt in real time. Less political drama, more human rhythm. Two young women in a world where their names are brands, their faces are headlines, and their casual moments become content. One comes from hardwood noise, arenas, scouting reports, the grind of a long season and the expectation that she'll save something bigger than herself. The other comes from snow-bright pressure, halfpipes, landings judged in fractions, and a career that can be reduced, unfairly, to a flag debate. Fashion Week is one of the few places where athletes can exist as aesthetic before they are reduced to argument. In that room, they aren't being timed, guarded, or scarred. They are just there. Breathing, laughing, watching fabric move like choreography, and then the internet drags the room back into its favorite sport, turning people into positions. To some viewers, Clark sitting with GU looked like betrayal by association. To others, it looked like the simplest kind of support, two elite athletes acknowledging each other's excellence. Newsweek captured that split in the way fans reacted, some celebratory, others bracing for backlash. Clark's response, white hearts, didn't argue with anyone. It didn't debate citizenship law or geopolitics. It didn't clarify. It just stood there, quietly, in public.